Good day, it's Althea from the Bible in 1 year. Today we spend time in the book of Obadiah. Humility brings God's blessing and favor. To understand the condemnation of the book, we need to look at the rich history behind it. God promised Abram and Sarah to have offsprings like the sand of the sea. Sarah was barren, and God blessed her with Isaac. Isaac married Rebekah, and Isaac prayed to the Lord because Rebekah was barren. God blessed them with twins. The two boys struggled together in her womb. Rebekah inquires the Lord as to why they are fighting. In Genesis 25, verse 23, God said to her that she is carrying two nations in her womb, and that the separation of the two nations has already begun. One nation shall be stronger than the other, and the older shall serve the younger. Esau, the firstborn, became Edom, the Edomites, and Jacob became Israel, the Israelites. The rivalry between the two carried on, and eventually the two nations also stood in opposition to one another. The Edomites lived in the mountains, and especially in an area difficult to attack and to destroy. This safe haven of them led to pride and arrogance. Edom harassed and provoked Israel constantly. When Israel was attacked by a foreign nation, Edom joined in, cheering on, mocking, and enjoying their pain. They joined in at the looting and even helped the invaders capture the refugees. In the book of Obadiah, God showed Obadiah in a vision that judgment is upon Edom. And in verse 3 it says, "The pride and arrogance of your heart have deceived you, you who lived in the cleft and lofty security of the rock, who says boastfully in your heart, who will bring me down to earth?" Verse 10 to 14, God lists the charges against them. Firstly, because of the violence you did against your brother Jacob. Secondly, you too were like one of them, collaborating with the enemy, and arrogantly cheering and maliciously mocking them. You looked with delight on their misery. You stand at the crossroad to cut down those of Judah who escaped, to hand over to the enemy those of Judah who survived. In verse 15 and 16, Obadiah states in his vision, God is bringing in nations against Edom in battle as judgment. As you have done, it shall be done to you. Your evil dealings will return on your own head. One thing about the judgment of God is that God always offers a way out to escape his judgment, as it is not his will to punish. His will is to save, but the choice lays with each individual. Verse 12 read, "But on Mount Zion, in Jerusalem, there shall be deliverance for those who escape." Verse 15 mentions all nations. It is important to realize that the book is about Edom, but it is also about all nations. God promised Abram in Genesis 12 verse 3, "I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse him who curses you." God's judgment is fair, and he will judge all people equal. Therefore, we will do good to ourselves if we treat all people the way we would like to be treated. Verse 17 and 18, it says that God will use Israel to bring judgment. Jacob shall be a fire, Joseph a flame, but the house of Esau will be like stubble. Jacob shall set them on fire and consume the Edomites, so that there shall be no survivor of the house of Esau. For the Lord has spoken. This word proved to be true. The Edomites fought side by side with the Jews against Rome, and the Edomites were crushed, ceased to exist as a nation. In the following verse, it predicts that Israel would occupy the land once belonged to Esau. This book ends on a high note. The kingdom and the kingship shall be the Lord's. God knows how to take care of his people, and he knows how to advance his kingdom. God promised to us a life of glory. Jesus came to redeem the world, and one day all believers will dwell in his kingdom. In Romans 8, verse 29 to 30, God promised all believers to be predestined, and those who predestined, he justify and glorify, raised to a heavenly dignity. Matthew 5 in the Amplified Bible lists a whole list of blessings for the humble at heart. May you be blessed. Goodbye.